Hey everyone, ready to launch into the world of satellites. We're doing a deep dive into geolocation data, and we're beaming in insights from an episode of the Tracking Earth podcast to guide us.
Yeah, it's really amazing how far we've come with this technology.
Yeah.
We've gone from just basic navigation to actually understanding how our planet works.
It's mind-blowing. Honestly, the thing that really got me was the accuracy. I mean, we're talking pinpointing stuff down to a few meters sometimes, and it's not just like a one-time picture. It's constant, right? Like a constant recording of what's happening on Earth.
It is, and that constant stream of data, that's really what makes it revolutionary. Like they were talking about deforestation in the Amazon and how you can compare images from the 70s to now and actually see the rainforest shrinking.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's more than just seeing it. Researchers can actually pinpoint which areas are most affected, how fast it's happening, even predict where it might go next, all thanks to this data.
So we've got this time lapse of the entire planet, but it's not just about looking back, right? This real-time data affects how we understand and manage, everything happening right now.
Exactly, exactly. Imagine trying to wrap your head around something like deforestation just by looking at a map. Satellites give us this whole other perspective, one that we just wouldn't have otherwise.
It's amazing the things that they're using this technology for these days. Like the podcast talked about scientists using it to look at coral reefs way out in the ocean. And they can actually see the effects of warming waters on these really delicate ecosystems.
Oh, it's huge, especially for environmental science. We're talking about being able to check on the most remote places, places that were, almost impossible to study before.
Yeah.
Now we can get so much detail, it's incredible.
It's not just what we can see on the surface either, is it? I mean, they mentioned using this data to map things like groundwater.
Right, right.
So we get a better picture of where the water resources are, which, with water scarcity and everything, that seems
Hugely important, yeah. And not just where the water is, but being able to, track those changes over time, that lets us plan for droughts or even think about farming differently.
It's like we're finally figuring out how the planet works, and it's not just for scientists either. They were saying how cities are using this stuff for planning.
Yeah, urban planning's gotten really interesting. You can do so much with this data. Imagine optimizing traffic flow in real time. Less traffic jams, better air quality, or even just figuring out where to put more parks and green spaces based on heat maps and stuff.
That's wild. You know what really blew my mind? They were talking about using AI to make sense of all this data.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to have the images, but then to actually analyze it all.
Oh, it's a completely different ballgame. We're talking about so much data.
Right.
Humans we couldn't handle it.
No way.
AI is having this, I don't know, this superpowered detective that can sift through everything and find these tiny little clues, connections that we totally miss.
And it's not just about understanding what's already happened, right? They talked about using it to predict stuff like deforestation, even natural disasters.
It's incredible. One of the examples, it was about predicting where deforestation might happen next.
Yeah.
Not just looking at where it has happened, but using all these factors, current trends, environmental stuff, to pinpoint the places most at risk.
Wow, that's next level stuff.
It is. It's we can actually get ahead of these problems instead of just reacting after it's too late,
Totally. And they even talked about climate change, how AI can
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
help us understand, I don't know, predict what's coming.
Using decades of data, sea levels, melting glaciers, even how bad storms are getting, AI can track it all.
It's a lot, that's for sure. But it's incredible to think we've gone from just using satellites to find our way around to having this tool that can help us understand the whole planet.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? We've got this incredible opportunity to really see our world and hopefully use that knowledge to,
Make things better, yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
This deep dive into tracking Earth has been, I don't know, kind of mind-blowing. It really makes you think about the future and everything.
It really does.
This technology, it's going to shape so much of what we do going forward. And it's like you were saying, it's not just about understanding the technology, it's about what we choose to do with it.
100%. We get to decide what kind of future we want to build.
Exactly. So what do you think? What other ways could we use this technology? What kind of future do you want to see? Let us know, because the future of our planet, well, it might just depend on the answers we find together.